But to grill a steak, there's not really an art, or well, there is an art, I guess. But the first thing with these flanks, we want them rare, medium rare, because as I discussed, there's really no fat in it. So an overdone flank steak will be very tough and chewy. And I hope the boys at the restaurant kept their medium rare like I asked for. I'll be mad when I get back. So for a rare, medium rare steak, I think some people get obsessed with these perfect grill marks that you want. You want these nice crosshatch on your steak and this and that, and set them at 45 degrees. Who cares? I don't care. What makes a good steak is not the perfect grill mark. I can put those on with a magic marker if I wanted to. I want my steak to have a good crust on it, to have a really nice sear. So which means that it's kind of counterintuitive to what you might think. So to cook a rare steak, you want it on the hottest part of your grill. Because a rare steak is going to be on the grill for the minimum amount of time. So to get that really nice sear, that nice crust, you want the heat cranked it to maximum. And at the restaurant, our grill is on high from morning till night. And you get to know, I'm sure your barbecue has it too, you have hot spots. And so we know on our grill at the restaurant where the hot spots are. If somebody orders a blue rare tenderloin or a rare strip loin, is going right on that hottest spot for the least amount of time. If you do like medium well and well done steaks, you don't want to put it on a really, really hot grill. Because by the time you get the center of that steak up to well done, the outside is going to look like a hockey puck. So lower your heat, let it cook more slowly, and then by the time the center is medium well, the outside will have a nice crust and won't be overdone. So for these flanks, and I haven't used this barbecue I think we used it last year, we did something else. But I do have this set to as high as it will go. So that steak there, I just took that out of my little Ziploc marinade bag. I added a bit more salt, because I only had a little pinch of salt in the marinade. So I added extra salt and pepper onto the grill, and that's one thing that you have to know too, for properly seasoned food, that generally speaking, a marinade is not really seasoning. Marinade doesn't replace salt and pepper. So even if you marinate something in lemon and oil and garlic and herbs, when it goes onto your grill or into your oven or into the frying pan, still add salt and pepper. Unless you happen to put a lot of salt and pepper in your marinade. And this is our dry one that had the smoked paprika, cumin, chipotle powder. I've added salt and pepper to it now. Now the ones that we grilled at the restaurant, I did a marinade on them. They got olive oil, garlic, lemon, and with my trusty microplane, I like a little bit of heat but not a lot. I microplaned a whole jalapeno. And that's a great way too. Again, like I was saying with the garlic, if you have a microplane, you can put it through the microplane really quickly and not smell like garlic all day. Same thing with the hot pepper. You can just run it through the microplane, hold it by the stem end, run it through, go as close to your fingertips as you dare, and then you wash your hands and you don't have to chop the chili or really handle it, so you don't have to worry so much about burning yourself. Now this is quite a thin flank steak. This one's going to be pretty quick, so I'll give that one a flip. This one's a little bit thicker. Let the grill do its job and just leave them alone. So that thin one is probably pretty close. And you'll see, if you watch Food Network and if you watch cooking shows or if you come to the restaurant, we have an open kitchen. And you'll see cooks poking steaks. We're not poking it for fun or, we tell the doneness by touching the steaks. So the more a steak cooks, the firmer it's going to get. So your well-done steak is quite firm. Rare will be blue and rare will be very soft. And it's a practice thing. You see, we've got a nice crust on that steak. I'm not after that perfect TV commercial grill mark. It's all about having a nice crust and that nice sear on it, which is why you want a good hot grill. So touching the steak, it lets us know how it's doing. This one's pretty close. I'm going to take that one off. So taking it off the grill brings us to another point about resting your steaks. I don't know if some of you have heard of that, or if you do it at home. It's a great practice. And just resting your steak is just that. You put it onto a plate. When I barbecue at home, I always go out with two plates. One plate's got the raw meat, the top plate has the raw meat. I put all the steaks or chicken or fish or whatever on the grill. let it cook, and then I've got the clean plate to bring it all back in the house or bring it to the table outside. But I just let it sit on that plate. You don't want to take your nice New York strip or your flank or your chicken breast off the barbecue and onto your buddy's plate. Sometimes that has its place, you know, I've been to golf tournaments, right off the grill onto my plate, and off you go to eat. But if you're at home and you're entertaining or cooking for yourselves and you have the time, just let it sit on a plate 4 or 5 minutes. It doesn't have to sit there for half an hour. You don't have to, you know, drink half a glass of wine or half a bottle of beer while you wait for your steak. And what it does, and this is quite hot, you know, I can comfortably keep my hand there for 6-7 seconds. It's really, really hot. So that intense heat, you can see it's searing the meat. The juices inside those meat, like anything else, when anything gets hot, it wants to expand. And this steak is actually a little bit puffier, a little bit more plump than when I put it on the grill. And it's the heat trying to push those juices out. It's like putting a cork in a tea kettle. It's trying to get out. We're heating the juice inside this meat, and it wants to get out. So if I take this right off the grill, throw it onto this plate, get my knife and fork, and cut it, as soon as I cut it, all that pressure is going to come out. And that's where you get, it's not actually blood, but you get all that red, that meat juice, and just comes out and covers your plate. And if you're eating at home or at a restaurant, and you're cutting your steak, and by the end of your meal, your mashed potatoes are pink, it's because the steak wasn't rested. All that juice is coming out. And it's just because it's really hot. It's under pressure and it wants out. So it's like the tea kettle analogy, right? If you take the kettle off the stove and pull the cork, it's going to steam all over the place. So just let them sit for 4 or 5 minutes. No, they'll still be warm.